guys. I'm Nicole. I'm a head women's basketball recruiting coach here at NCSA, and I have the honor to be here today with Latrell Fleming, and he is an assistant women's basketball coach at Northern Illinois University. So welcome, Latrell, and thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Nicole.
Well, thank you so much. I'm excited. At NCSA, we really feel it's important to, get feedback from coaches to help our student athletes understand about the different divisions of college basketball, what the experience is really like in the recruiting process. So can you please tell us about, the season you guys just had with NIU women's basketball?
Well, this past season, I thought we did good for the amount of injuries that we had. I don't like to use excuses because I know a lot of women basketball programs around the country did have a lot of injuries this past season. But we, our two starting post players were out, one with an Achilles, one with an ACL injury. So we had to start two freshmen, and both freshmen did pretty well, but one freshman ended up getting first team freshman in the MAC conference. So given our situation with all the injuries, I thought that we did pretty well. We had an 8-10 finish in the MAC. We beat Ball State, who won the MAC West. So overall we had a good season. I know wins and losses might not illustrate that, but from a coaching standpoint, I thought that the girls battled and played hard for the whole year, given all the injuries to our program.
That's fantastic. It sounds like you have a couple of young players that can definitely help improve the program moving forward. So tell me about, what makes NIU women's basketball unique? What makes your school and your program, separates it from a different one?
Well, I think our program is unique because we get throughout all the sports, even with our football team, volleyball, everything. We get kids blue collar kids that want to come here and work hard. We're located in DeKalb, Illinois, 45 minutes from Chicago. We're an hour and a half away from the Milwaukee area. So, and what makes us unique is basically kids that are from the Wisconsin area don't have to travel too far to visit our campus, and kids that's based out of the Illinois area, the Chicago area, is an easy drive for them to get down to as well. So, just the proximity of our campus is great. Is a great recruiting tool for us. By Wisconsin, the state of Wisconsin has 4 Division I schools and 2 being your mid-major programs, which are Milwaukee and Green Bay. So there's only 2 mid-major programs. So if you're a kid that's a mid-major player in the state of Wisconsin, you really only got 2 schools to choose from, whereas a lot of kids look at Northern Illinois because it's close. It's kind of like being a Wisconsin school for us because we do get a lot of kids out of that area. Okay,
and that leads me to my next question. So do you guys do you focus your recruiting efforts on Wisconsin, Illinois, Midwest? How do you zone in on different regions, and do you recruit nationwide?
Well, at our school, we don't necessarily recruit nationwide because at a mid-major school, budget has a lot to do with it. So we try to work smarter, not harder, if that makes any sense. We can't go to a tournament in New York and recruit New York kids because, for one, the cost for us to travel to New York is tremendous. And plus, at this point, it's tough for a mid-major to get a kid out of New York as opposed to, and when you got talent right in your own backyard, be it Illinois, Indiana, or Wisconsin. So we really try to do a good job of recruiting the Wisconsin and Illinois area. Recently, we have been doing a great job of recruiting Wisconsin from the points that I mentioned previously. And then we got coaches on our coaching staff that have a lot of ties in the Wisconsin area as well. So our last class, basically, our 2014 class, were all Wisconsin kids. So, and we had 3 freshmen this past year. But so Wisconsin, Illinois is basically where we've been having the most success. We want to touch the Indiana, Iowa areas as well. But for some reason, we've been doing well in the Wisconsin, Illinois area. Well, we're from Illinois, but Wisconsin been great to us as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, so moving forward to next season, what are your goals for the team for next year?
For next season, basically we should have more healthy bodies. We got a good recruiting class coming in. We even got a kid from Australia coming in this year. Her name is Courtney Woods, top 20 kid from all of Australia for kids. I think that was born in 1998.
That's fantastic. She was an NCSA kid as well, right?
Yeah, that's how we initially found her. We found her from your website. We were able to bring her down, work her out on campus, and then she was a good fit for our program. So we're excited about her. And right now she's currently playing in a women's league in Australia. So she's getting the work that she needs to be ready to come in NIU and play right away. So next season, with all the healthy bodies, I think we're going to have a great chance to contend and be one of the top 4 teams in the MAC. So we're excited about that. The girls have been working hard in the postseason, and right now this is the last week of finals. So they're going to go home for a few weeks, then come back and get ready for summer workouts.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Well, that with recruiting, you said Courtney, she's a good fit for your program. So what do you look for in a student athlete? Let that be like skills, on, off court work. What does NIU need in a prospect?
Well, first, I feel like most schools, you got to identify your need. Do you need a post player? Do you need a wing? Do you need a shooter? Do you need a point guard? So before you even go out there, I think that you have to identify what your needs are. For instance, like right now, we have a senior point guard and a junior point guard. So that senior is going to graduate next season. So it's a must that we bring in another point guard in. So you want to have, in our philosophy, we want to have at least 2 to 3 per position. We get 15 scholarships. So first you identify your needs. If you need post player, then you need this type of post player. And then you want the kids that fit your system. In the past, we've been a very defensive-minded program. So we look for that kids that are going to work hard, going to play defense, going to defend, and just going to go all out. Also, academics plays a role. You want kids that going to be able, that are going to qualify, kids that's going to be eligible. You want the kids that, going to work hard in the classroom as well. Because you miss a lot of class and being on the road and traveling. So you want kids, you want kids that's going to be responsible as well in that sense.
Yeah,
also, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Also, you want to do your research. You want to talk to maybe their AAU coach, and you want to talk to their high school coach. Make sure the information correlates with each other, because sometimes you get some AAU coaches or you get some high school coaches that just want to sell the kid, and they're really not telling you everything about the kid. And some coaches, and I like to even talk to the guidance counselor to get more in depth about the kid as well. And also, I know in the past we also look at kids' social media accounts. I know we scratched a few kids off our list based off their Twitter accounts, because that's really an indication of what type of kid that is. So, and all these things that I'm mentioning right now has nothing to do with the skill or talent level. We haven't even got to that yet. So, go ahead.
No, absolutely. We stress Twitter as well here at NCSA. So, yeah, absolutely. Keep going.
Okay, yeah, and then just then when you're out evaluating a player, you kind of look at their attitude. What are they like with their teammates when they're up 20? What are they like when they're down 20? How do they act when the game is tied or on the line? When the coach tells them something, how are they responding to the coach? Are they looking the other way, or are they really in tune with what the coach is saying? Just things like that. Then personality, you got to make sure their personality match with the players that you're trying to do or the culture you're trying to build. For instance, I know we had a problem with our practices being quiet. So when I was going out recruiting, I was looking for that player that was talkative and motivational, because that's what we need to change our culture. If we need someone to come in with that particular personality to change our culture, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a kid that's high-fiving their teammates, a kid that's talking on the bench or talking in the game. Because if they're quiet in high school, chances are they're going to be quiet when they get to the collegiate level. So,
yeah.
So basically, it's just different things that you look for in terms of players.
Okay. Well, so leading on to that, you're looking for all these things. When do you start the recruiting process, or what's your timeline for recruiting?
Well, it's tough, recruiting became a little bit easier since the NCAA allowed juniors to take official visits. For on the women's side, it seems like kids are committing so early. For instance, we already got 3 2015 commits. So for this summer, we're starting to look at 2017 kids already. So, and this is summer of 2015. We already got 3 kids committed for the junior class already.
Okay.
So I think it's going to depend on different programs, but like at the mid-major level, I think you start looking at kids at their sophomore year. But if you see like a good freshman, maybe you don't just go to, well, at our school, we don't just go to a freshman game and watch this freshman team play on the AAU circuit. But if it's like if we're at a 17U game and if there's a freshman playing and doing well, we'll put them on our list and send them some information out and try to get them down on campus and start that relationship. But we like to really start looking at kids at probably their sophomore, junior year, depending on what kids committed and things like that.
Okay, and you hit on something there. You send them information on the university. How do you show that you're actively recruiting a student athlete? You know, what's the difference between seeing a student athlete and, you know, maybe you kind of liked how they played versus showing a student athlete you have serious interest in recruiting them and bringing them in to be a part of your team?
Well, their freshman and sophomore year, we can't call them or send them mail out besides camp flyers and questionnaires. So we usually go through like a high school coach or AAU coach if we're really interested in them. For instance, like for a site like yours where I can tell you to, hey, have Susie from Iowa call me. And that was the outlets we have to go through. We can't particularly call the kids or send them mail or visit them at school. We can't do that if we really want a freshman or sophomore kids. That starts September of their junior year. That's when we can really call and send out the different mailers that will attract those type of kids. So with that being said, if we really wanted a kid, let's say they were a freshman in high school or a sophomore in high school, we would probably try to contact AAU coach, high school coach, or a site like you guys to see if you could give that person a call us, because we can accept their phone call. We just can't call them back or call them.
Okay. All right. Good to know. So can you recommend some do's and do nots for, you know, student athletes that are looking to play college basketball?
Well, for one, I think that they got to really monitor their social media outlets. That's how you really get to know who a person really is, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, their Instagram account, things like that. Their attitude on the court, off the court. Sometimes coaches might go to AAU game or a high school game. They just might want to see how you interact with your teammates before the game. Are you on your cell phone, texting by yourself, or are you engaged with your teammates? And I mean, those are two that could come to mind. It always is work hard and control the controllable. I always tell kids you can't control makes or misses, but you can control how hard you work. You can control turnovers. You control how hard you play on defense. Makes or misses, I mean, you can't control it. I never met a person that didn't miss a shot. I mean, you watch the NBA, these are the greatest players in the world, and they miss shots. So don't get caught up into the makes or misses, but just make sure you're just playing hard at all times. Everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for your time. You definitely helped us out, and I appreciate everything, Coach Fleming. So, you know, we wish you the best next season.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you, Coach.